Transformers Legacy has been a treat, and it's already ending its swan song with Legacy United. Seeing the humble beginnings to the peak is a journey within itself. A journey of loss and growth in just a short 2 years. Wave 1 of United carries no G1 figures, which is a first for Generations as a whole, containing Beast Wars, some new and old faces, and favorites in the fandom. Wave 2 goes above and beyond while carrying 2 G1 entries and is because of the merits of the figures and totally not because of Starscream. While Legacy Year 1 had the gimmick of Energon weapons, Evolution had Evo Fusion. What's United's gimmick? Oh, 40 years of the Transformers? And I've hyped up the variedness of United, but we're milking the cow that is G1 for the 50 billionth time. Transformers Legacy United Origin Wheeljack is a recently acquired figure, if you count 3 months as recent. He was a long time coming ever since we got Bumblebee over 3 years ago, Jesus Christ. But who knew we'd even get an Origin Wheeljack back then? Wheeljack is a Target exclusive here in the United States, which makes sense considering the last 2 Origins figures were. I've also had the pleasure of seeing this guy out in the wild because one of my friends got him. Not me though, because I pre-ordered him online. The sculpting of the figure is sweet with similar molding to the Earthrise figure in his arms, wing things, thighs, and a bit in the feet. It's super obvious by looking at the finer details, but it brings continuity between the figures where it wouldn't be too far-fetched to put them in a shelf together to show a progression of time. Another thing about this Wheeljack compared to the Earthrise figure is how much wider he is in robot mode, but come on, look what he turns into. What did you expect? The head is my favorite part of this figure as it feels just right, and no, the Earthrise head isn't that bad, but this just does it for me. The blue for the eyes is the most beautiful shade of blue I've ever seen on a Transformer and wish they would do this going onward, but also did notice that Snarl and Sludge have it too, or at least a similar shade of blue. Another aspect I enjoy is the translucent plastic color chosen, which was deliberately chosen to evoke the colors shown in animation, and it's a beautiful color that I've never seen on any other Transformer before or after this figure. The chest shows off the clear plastic the best too because the simplicity contrasts the inner sculpting. The traditional Wheeljack chest is also accomplishing this as well because it's sculpted as well. On top of being painted to look like the standard Wheeljack chests, Alright, so let's articulate Wheeljack, and if you hear any mouth sounds, I'm chewing gum. So, let's get into it. He's got a ball joint at the head, so you can look up that high, you can look down that low. It's also, this part does not like to tab in that well, so that's the only issue I really have with this toy. You could have him head tilt. Of course, left and right, look left and right. The arms can go full 360, but of course the back kibble is a little intrusive. So unless you extend the arm outwardly, like this, so you can do a T-pose, then you could fully rotate it 360. It's got a bicep swivel. It's got a 90-degree elbow. I almost said knee. I don't know why I always get them mixed up. He has a wrist swivel, which is very important for the transformation. He's got an unintrusive waist swivel because this is very crucial to the transformation. Make sure you can actually see it. The leg goes up that far, goes up that high. I cannot English today. The leg goes that far back. Of course, the back kibble is very intrusive, and also on the leg, so you can't quite get that far. The leg goes out that far, not full 90, not a full straight line because it is angled, because of how it's shaped. He's got a thigh swivel, and he's got about almost more than 90 knee. It's more so 90 than it is anything more, but of course the kibble gets in the way. We've got an ankle tilt, but it's also a ball joint, so you could fully swivel it, which is for transformation. Then he's got a hinge, so you could hinge his foot forward, and then barely any back. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation. So I will see you in the transformation part when we do live stuff again. Wheeljack comes with this blaster, which could be placed in this intentional 5mm port on his shoulder, or it could just be handheld. The blaster has that exaggerated cartoon feel thanks to the long barrel, and now looking at it, kinda very much looks like Galvatron's fusion cannon. He also comes with these gears, which have a dual purpose. In robot mode, they're supposed to be these missile pods from the G1 cartoon, and in vehicle mode are fans to get rid of the flames left over by explosions. The last accessory is this. In robot mode, it looks to be a glider or wings, kind of like Fortnite, and that's really stretching. Vehicle mode adds some variety in terms of what you can do, but I can't show you until, well, the transformation. And we got the fan on, we got the AC on, because it's summertime in California, where it gets really, really hot. Especially if you got windows and door closed and your AC vent barely goes into your room. So you gotta have the fan on to compensate for that. But enough of the heat problems of California in my own apartment, home. Let's transform Wheeljack. So, first off, take off all the accessories. Make sure you are able to tangibly grab them and take them off. So, first and foremost, this is a second recording of the transformation because the first one, they were cutting grass outside and you couldn't hear me at all. And it's so different, in fact, that the background's different from when I did the articulation. So, let's get started. Turn the head around. So next you turn the waist around. Then you start doing the arms, fold out the panel, rotate the fists, and put them in. Same thing on the other side. Pull this panel out, fold the fists like this so that it's like this. Fold them away. Next you can take out the backpack, fully extend it out, then bring it back all the way. Then the wings, spoiler wings, door wings, not really door wings, they're spoiler wings. So, well, spoiler wings because they don't become the spoiler at all. So fold that in. Then you take this whole assembly of the chest and head, bring it all the way down so it tabs into this secondary tab that's deeper into where, well, I guess that's where stomach is at. Then you bring the arms up, swivel them, and bend the elbow, which will then tab into this little tab on the shoulder, or the back of the shoulder. And then you could put them together, angle this up, put this in, because there is a tab slot in there, and then a tab right there. I think it's kind of obvious what you do there. And there you go, you have that assembly. Now we go to the legs. Now this is where most of the engineering is at. So you untab this, do it on both sides. You rotate this out, untab it and rotate it out. Same thing as the other side. Then you can pull these out, then come back over here, and tab these, swivel them around, tab it, swivel it around. Then you could untab it some more. Well, you don't have to do it now, but fuck it, Weeball, I'm already doing it. Next you want to do is fold these panels up. Then you want to open them up one more time. Well, actually, open them up and then you open them up one more time, like that. Next, you go to the feet, swivel them around, and push them in, or hinge them in. Swivel around, hinge it in, then you got the feet in place. Next you want to do is untab at the knee sections. I don't even know if the camera even caught all the transformation steps. I'm assuming it has. So make sure everything's all set up nice and neatly. Then line up the legs and coordinate it. Well, I guess yeah, coordinate it with the tabs. Make sure the knees don't bend. This is the only part of the transformation I'm not really a big fan of because nothing really locks in for sure. Okay. Then you take these panels and you just fit them inside. And from fitting it inside, these little tabs will tab into the front sides of the shoulder. If you could, it's not really a good way to show this. Yeah, right there, tab on the shoulder. So now you just put it in. Now you put those together, put these up forward, like this, and then put this like that, nice and forward, so it creates a box kind of thing. And then you bring in the top, and you just, well, first off, make sure everything's lining up properly. Okay, and now we can close it from the top. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on right here. Oh, this waist is like swiveled a bit. Okay. And now this is undoing itself. I swear, the transformation is not bad. I swear. Just because it's falling apart right now doesn't mean it's terrible. Last but not least, you take his chest, you sew it out, and then you just port it into these ports. It has them right here. And there you go, you got Origin Wheeljack transformed, but we're not quite finished yet because there is the storage for everything else. So you can put the gears up front, which is what I prefer to do, because if you don't, he has ports there, and I think that looks a little silly. So I put those there, and you can put the gun on top. So yeah, there we go. That's the transformation. I swear it's not terrible as you may think it is from me transforming it. You watch me transform it, but it's just, I don't know why. Probably due to the combination that I'm sitting in an uncomfortable position as I transform this while the camera is in front of me. Well, my phone. I'm sure you understand because other reviewers talk about, oh, the struggles of doing stuff with the toys when there's a thing in front of you. So when you transform this naturally, it's not terrible. Well, I guess when I transform naturally, it's not terrible. But since I'm kind of doing it kind of hurry-ish because we can't make the video that super long now, can we? So, and then on top of that, sitting uncomfortably. But other than that, this is a nice transformation. The vehicle mode is a more standardized looking Cybertronian vehicle. And what I mean by that is Wheeljack looks like a vehicle unlike Siege Soundwave. I do commend the mass shifting that takes place during the transformation, starting as an average car bot to becoming a space minivan. The deco of the vehicle mode brings more green into the fold with this additional minty green and whatever this detail is supposed to be. Back to the accessories, and this glider on robot mode can either be a blast shield for the vehicle to protect from explosions, or the other option is a road, which I honestly don't care about. Now, if you have yourself an Origin Bumblebee, you can integrate him with Wheeljack. As in, you can put the rods that came with Bumblebee on Wheeljack in a pseudo-clip system. The integration is appreciated, but I just keep them in Rodimus's trailer. But that is not all. There is another feature that this Wheeljack can do, and that's not just holding those rods on those clips. First off, make sure you have your Origin Bumblebee handy and transformed already, because this is a vehicle mode only feature. So I wouldn't say this is what sold me on the idea of an Origin Wheeljack, but we can say that it kinda did, even though Wheeljack's already one of my favorite G1 bots. So let's just get over with it already. So first off, we're gonna start with Wheeljack. So open him up, which reveals an empty space. Oh, wonder why. So, all right. Next, you get your Bumblebee, and what you want to do is you want to untab this whole entire section, and I'm assuming, would that be considered a double hinge? I don't know, because you hinge it, and then you hinge it again, and then you hinge it again. So same thing on the other side, untab, hinge it up, and then you fold it in, and then fold it in. And now you got your Bumblebee ready to go. Now what you do next is you just insert Bumblebee, and well, there you go. Then, of course, put this back up, fold down this panel. It's a bit of a snug fit, but it is certainly possible to close it. It is certainly a snug fit. Okay, there we go. And bada bing bada boom, now Bumblebee is inside of Wheeljack. By far, one of the coolest things that this toy can do. On top of being a Wheeljack toy, or I guess playing devil's advocate here, maybe he kind of suffers from this feature existing, but I mean, I don't know, I think he's okay. Even if it's kind of a suffering kind of thing where he has to service this functionality, but I don't know. The fact you can do it though is pretty sweet. So I don't really care the compromises that they took, because at the end of the day you got something cool like this. So carry on. Once you have him in there, of course you can see Bumblebee, but it gives a completeness to Wheeljack, which I don't think would have been felt if I didn't have Bumblebee, but I'll never know, and I do fancy putting a bot in another bot's open cavities. Happy late Pride Month! Because this video was supposed to come out in June, and obviously we're in July. Origin Wheeljack is a pretty neat figure. He's not reinventing the wheel, but continues to show the benefits of being a deluxe-sized Voyager due to his engineering. 86 Ironhide being the pioneer. I do think he's a good addition to my collection, as 1, Wheeljack is one of my favorite G1 bots, and 2, integrates with Origin Bumblebee, and backwards compatibility is a great deal, whether it's toys or video games. Plus, I also like having the Cybertronian and Earth versions of characters, which makes you wonder, why did I sell my Siege Optimus Prime 2 years ago? Well, it doesn't matter now because I got another one, so we don't have to ponder that question today, or ever again. Anyway, that's another review in the books. I'll see you in the next video, whatever and whenever that may be, because making videos is an interesting hobby.